Welcome back, everybody. I'm Val Evans, and this is Astrology and Crime, the valedictorians version. And we were just earlier talking in the subscribers version about two disturbing cases of women who had everything going for them. And then suddenly, just shockingly, their friends, family, co-workers found out that they one of them, at the very least, committed murder. And in Lucy Letby's case, multiple murders. We're going to go through some of the things, her timeline really of the murders. And I've got another crime chart for you. And just kind of quickly go over some of their traits that they have in their birth chart. Hey, Janie Doe, thanks for joining me. So what I'm going to do first is let's just go to Nicole first. And what we were talking about in the last show is just, my God, the T-square is so, it really shows some shocking things in her chart, and there can be feelings of betrayal, revenge. It would not surprise me if she had a very difficult family life, possibly some things that had to do with bullying. When someone has a stellium in Scorpio, it is an intense amount of energy at any given time, depending on transits. And it is just deep thought. And as a moon in Scorpio, I can attest where you kind of have to pull yourself back sometimes, instead of just going so deeply into a topic. But at the same time, everybody can have this Scorpio energy based on their solar return chart. And so sometimes you can have a Scorpio rising in some years, and you might feel the energy of Scorpio, which is betrayal, jealousy, and revenge. And so she has this as her, what I believe is her birth chart. I rectified it as a Pluto or Scorpio rising. She has the dark hair, dark eyes, and so much about her is scorpionic. So yeah, and the sun in Leo, these are bullies. It would not surprise me if there were things that in her mind were symbols of something that were traumatic, where she had to act in some way. All right. Hey, Buckeye Clay fan. Nice to see you. All right. So I'm not going to go too deep on these, since we kind of focused on that in the last show today. And if you haven't seen it, go to the pre-show. This is Nicole Virzi's solar return. Now, I did not add this in the last show, so let's take a look at it. This is one of the things I look at in some of my readings, and especially the solar return readings. And you can see that she is a Pluto rising in her 2023 year. So that would still be the year that she would be accused of killing little Leon. And so what we would do is if I had rectified this correctly, we would go around this little calendar. The ascendant starts on your birthday. For her, it would be August 10th. I'm not sure if it's the 10th, but it's around the 10th. So let's say it's the 10th, August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May, and then June. I believe that's, let me double check. Nicole Virzi and wow, somebody's like, she taught at Cycle Bar, Carmel Valley too. Seems like she was a pretty ambitious person. And here's a picture of these cute little babies. Oh my gosh. PhD student accused of killing her friend's newborn. June 16th. June would have started Virgo. So there would be a lot of maybe some Virgo types of themes for her that month, because that's what her 11th house would start. We would look, even though we're right in here, we would look at the ruler of that house. So it would be here, Mercury. And I got to say, I see this quite a bit in some of my charts that I look at. When there is some kind of aggression that happens, sometimes all out attacks, Mars is in the mix. And so here there's some kind of anger. Somebody is angry about something. And when you have Mars squaring Moon, this is abuse. And it's in Gemini. There would have been a time the month before, because it's in the month of May, but it would actually activate in June, the 11th house, ruled by Mercury, squaring the Moon, Mars. And not only is Mars and Moon abuse, Gemini is twins and Mercury is twins. So we're talking the abuse of twins here. And it was super fast. Good Lord, look at this. Uranus is like a rocket. It's like you blink an eye and it's done. And so this, whatever happened here, was in a trine to Uranus. And wow, that is super, super fast. Sorry, I meant Scorpio rising. Yes, it would be. And you know what? It doesn't matter to me, because, I think it's the same, whether it's the sign or the planet, it's the ambassador. So anyway, let's go and look at this. So this would be a really good example of something happening that was like light speed. And now Virgo, which is what that little trio up there is something that has to do with a responsibility, a task, maybe, I don't want to say work, because it was her friend, but let's take a look at her friend in her solar return year. And the way that we would do that is we would look at the 11th house, which is the house of friendship. That's when this would activate. And Mercury is the friend. So really, it is some kind of innate feeling of wanting to hurt her friend, possibly. Obviously it's the twins that she's hurting, but it's very tied to that 11th house of friends. Now, in her birth chart and in this solar return chart for this year, Pluto would be stuck. This is her. She is, when you've got something stuck with the nodes, it's like you feel like you're just trapped. And it's in the 3rd house there. So 3rd house would be an apartment. This would be a big theme this year. Now, also keep in mind that there's a retrograde here. So retrograde planet, a rising planet, would be, squaring North Node in Aries, very, very angry, and not being able to purge. So, sometimes I think with these oppositions to the nodes, it's kind of like you're gaining something and you can't, there's not a flow. It's just too much. It's too much of thinking, ruminating, and maybe having feelings of revenge or even betrayal. So that would be her this year. Her friend is Mercury, and her friend Mercury conjunct part of fortune here. I mean, that is very successful. So I'm not sure what she does for a living, but maybe she does something that has to do with tech because of this trine there to Uranus. But Uranus is in the Algol area, which is the head. So very fast, without anybody even really noticing it, a fast, hit to the head. Now, also keep in mind, one twin, Mercury, made it out of there. Another twin did not. So that's kind of like why you're seeing a blue and a red line there. One survived, one did not. Let's see here. What's really interesting is I look at her second house of finances, and I've seen this with both of their charts, which is really interesting. Jupiter rules her second house of finances. It's over here. It's in Taurus. And something is not right here. Her finances seem to not be good. Like her dad's a cardiologist. She seems like she's got her stuff together, up until this time. But there is some kind of financial element, and so that would be probably a good clue to look at when you were an investigator. Just look at her finances, see what was going on, because you want to understand what she was going through, because it does help the investigator develop the motive. And she's going to try to get this acquitted. So, or her lawyer is. All right. So here's the transit, and it's kind of like it looks pretty complicated. But one thing I noticed, you got to go towards the red lines, and for her, the red lines around the time that she was accused of murder. Black Moon Lilith in the 11th house of friendships. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger so you can see. Hey, Lisa, thanks for joining us. So you've got that Black Moon Lilith. You have got, Venus and Moon. This is a really good indicator that people would know her and she would become famous. And so this is a famous woman, and not just she would become the famous woman, but her friend as well, because of this horrible, horrible crime where she killed one little twin baby. The other one survived. And it goes to show you how much they trusted her, because they were like, oh my God, I don't know what happened. We're going to take this twin. We're going to leave the other twin with you. And, it's such a feeling. It is a most intense feeling of betrayal. So I can imagine that friend has a lot of Scorpio in her chart, because she would have to endure an enormous feeling of betrayal. It almost makes me want to look and see if maybe we can get her birthday. Nicole Virzi, friend. And it was the Katz family. Oh my God. Leo. Why didn't I see that before? Leon Katz with a K. Unbelievable. So we're seeing lots of Leo as usual and lots of Gemini. They go together. Now, let me double check and see if I can find this. Okay, here's the picture of them. Well, that's a picture of her, and then the picture of them. Okay, so it's Savannah Katz. Let me see if I can look her up. Savannah Katz. Definitely Leo, if she has that name, although it is a married name. Birth date. I don't know if I can find it. Got their wedding registry. Oh, we could look at their wedding chart. My God. Oh, it's horrible. So they were married in a Leo. Is that when they were married? It's August 6th, 2023. So I guess we could do a wedding chart. Let's do that. And I'm going to show you what I'm looking at. Savannah Roberts. Wait, maybe I can look up Savannah Roberts. Katz. Cats. And the reason I'm looking it up is I just want to see, when you have so much Scorpio, it's really hard in certain times of your life because you are just outright betrayed. Not to this level always, but it can be very difficult. Savannah Roberts Cat's birth date. Let's see what we get here. I don't think I see it. All right, so I wasn't expecting to do this, but August 6th, 2023, and that, I guess we could say that was Pittsburgh. So let me pull it up. August 26th, 2023. Was it 20? Sorry, August 6th, 2023. I'm looking up her wedding chart. And this is the wedding chart of the couple who had twins and seemed very, very happy together and just entrusted the wrong person. Horrible. All right, so I'm going to put in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And I'm going to say, you know what? I don't know when they got married, but this day and age, people get married around 6, I guess. We can at least look at some of the planets. Oh my God. Whoa, look at that. Holy God. All right. So what do we have here? Well, if they started down the aisle around this time, Saturn would rule this chart, which would make sense. And Saturn is in retrograde. So this is a retrograde wedding chart. Double check you can see this. My best friend, Janie Doe, is Scorpio rising, and but she is the head pin of the bowling land of life. Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's difficult. It can be very good. You've got Kim Kardashian, how it seems she has a dream life, but underneath, lots of really, like, she has betrayed. People have betrayed her. I mean, you are here, if you've got a lot of Scorpio energy, to experience Scorpio. Stealing other people's husbands and boyfriends, that's serious Scorpio energy. All right. So automatically, if this is when she started getting married, if this was her wedding chart, Saturn retrograde opposing Mercury, the twins. So it doesn't matter what time she started. We're still on that day that they got married. We see the death of a twin. That's unbelievable. I mean, it just gives me chills. Just unbelievable. All right. I can't even talk. Now, Sun in Leo, obviously, because it's in August. Lots of Leo. Leon might be in here. They named him Leon, and this is a Regulus. This is the king degrees. And unfortunately, it is squaring Jupiter in Taurus. So, what would Jupiter be? Jupiter's a hidden enemy. What does Virzi mean? That's what I want to know. Virzi. Sorry, you guys are at my mercy here with my thoughts. All right, so Virzi, what does Virzi mean? It's a oval piece of wood, guitar or violin. That's weird. So, let me double check this one more. What is Virzi? And the reason I'm doing this is because I want to see what, like, if we really didn't have the perfect chart, we could at least see who she is by her name. And It's part of an instrument. So I would say probably Libra, but it is a piece of wood. Anyway, I'm getting into the weeds here, but so yeah, death of a twin here in the wedding chart of Nicole Virzi's friends. And that was Savannah Roberts and Ethan Katz. And then also Stellium and Aries. Something makes them extremely mad, extremely hurt. Moon in Aries for a wow, look at this. Look at this. We have Moon in Aries squaring the ruler of the 11th house of friend. Incredible, incredible anger with a friend. Could have been the other way around too. Friend is here. And by the way, the ruler of the 11th house when they got married is retrograde. So this person is not, it's a flawed symbol. Squaring Moon in Aries. Unbelievable. Then, we have the 22nd degree of kill or be killed. And there's something that's just, this is the head. This is Algol here. So it's a square with Leo. So Leo is the one who is basically, there's a strike. And you can see Pluto is trining Uranus. So that's where the strike is coming from. Super, super difficult chart. Especially that there's a couple of stelliums, which means 3 or more points or planets. And there's Virgo, there is Leo, and there's also Aries. But one of the most difficult parts, and this is something you think about when you start something, you want to see where Saturn is. And, you don't like Saturn squares or oppositions. And if you have that in your birth chart, you can look at your progressed chart and see that, it's probably changed. It's probably not in that square anymore. And, it makes you feel a little bit better. Okay. Let me go back to this one. All right. So this is Nicole Virzi's transit. And again, second house, this is something about money. I think something's bothering her about money. I don't know what it is, but we've got Black Moon Lilith moving through the 11th house and squaring her second house. So I don't know. I think it's something potentially financial that is on her mind at the moment. But you also have around the time that she allegedly murdered this little baby, you have Uranus there, third house, squaring Chiron. So, mysteriously, Neptune is secretly hitting someone and hurting someone. And so much Aries there. So Aries is just aggressive, angry. You wonder what she was so angry about. Uranus is in an opposition with Pluto. Pluto is wanting to get revenge, wanting to strike for possibly a reason that she doesn't even know. And also the ascendant, which would represent her, squares these planets in Leo. So this is because, the vertex is up here. So vertex is actually pretty important. It looks like just this little point that everybody kind of ignores, but it shows a theme. This is kind of like, here's the theme for the moment. Okay. And it's got Leo around it. So you might want to pay attention up here. So this is, third house is the apartment. Jesus. I think just looking at her transit chart, it just seems as if she has this inherent need to strike. It's psychological. There's also, she might have actually gone through a recent breakup too, because Uranus is going through her seventh house. So it wouldn't surprise me if her, obviously not trying to be empathetic towards a murderer, but you kind of want to get the background of how did this happen? Okay. So we're talking a little bit about Lucy. And hey, Shauna, nice to see you. Backhand. I missed that one. Lane of life. Yeah, exactly. Regarding the money, did she feel she was working for free and was resentful? Parents of twins need a lot of support. Maybe it's possible. I will be very interested to see what the prosecutors come up with. But there seemed to be a financial element for both of them. And so we're going to get to that with Lucy in a second. And we're going to look at a crime chart for Lucy. And I haven't showed you that yet. All right. This is like, my God. If I saw a birth chart like this, it would be obvious. I would say to my client, how are you doing? Like, are you okay? Tell me about this T-square and why, and about abuse, because there seems to be a very, very tough backstory here that we don't know about. And she had to endure very negative too, with a square to Capricorn. This is someone who's like the symbol of death, somebody who's around maybe very negative people. No, you can't do that. Or, well, it's a real shame that you can only work those night shifts. Why don't you work the day shift? Like everything around her, it can be depressing. So she's looking for that outlet of what gives her energy. And unfortunately, it looks like Pluto. It looks like Scorpio. Scorpio is betraying others. And you know what happens sometimes too? It's like there's a couple of things I'm going to show you where she looks on Facebook. She wants to see how what she's done has affected people. And it's usually, it's the makings of someone who does not have a good life. And she's looking at people all around her that are happy. And her energy is very, very sad. There's a lot of guilt. When you have a lot of Capricorn, people can make you feel guilty, especially with the moon in Capricorn. But still, if she has moon in Aries and squaring Capricorn or planets in Capricorn, this is it's depression. It's a mother that is no longer alive. It's a mother that made you feel guilty. And, you just feel low a lot. So there's that Black Moon Lilith. And I would tie Black Moon Lilith with Pluto there. This is a murder. Murder takes her out for some reason of that Capricornian low depression. And, also it shows a profile of who she works with too, because, with Capricorn, this is people who could be old. They could have dark hair, dark features, and they're all around her. She might have some kind of resentment towards the people she works with, because let's see, who are her coworkers? Well, we're going to go to the sixth house for coworkers, and we looked at the sun for that. The sun's all up here. Who are her coworkers? Well, we see the sun conjunct Neptune, which is nurses and doctors, and it doesn't seem like she really cares for them, or they are abusive in some way. I'm afraid to say some of them lie. Some of them are no good. And it's a shame that she has the nodes at 18 degrees too, which just gives that very evil energy there. So, and like I said in the last show, we have Pluto, which is the symbol of murder. And it's in this square here with 18 square south node, square to the north node, just like tied and bound to Lord Pluto. And, psychologically, you might even be torn um, with your thoughts with this type of Scorpio energy. Of course, none of this would justify killing small babies. And like I said before, Mercury here, like it's in her birth chart. Mercury is small babies. Retrograde are in the intensive care unit because there is a health problem. And then Saturn is right next to that, which means she's going to encounter or cause the death of these small children. This is her solar chart. And so she started murdering 2015. Okay. So her ascendant is on Algol, which is the devil, and Venus is up here. So her chart ruler is Venus. And what is she thinking about? Which is what the prosecutor said, what the police said. For some reason, she had some kind of fascination with twins. And Mercury in Capricorn is dead twins. So for some reason, that's what she was looking for that year. And Saturn is sextiling this. So Saturn is the planet of death. So, it's almost like that was her in her twisted mind. Maybe that's something that she wanted to do to accomplish. Normally this would be okay, because if she was a nurse, this would mean that this is in her 10th house of career. And she was talking about helping people. Yeah, I mean, it shows that she was talking about deaths, oh my God, are you okay? And, reaching out to the parents and seeing how they're doing. I mean, really twisted, psychotic, sociopathic stuff. And that could have been part of Thales, this right angle here. But you can see that at the same time, simultaneously, you've got this octile to Chiron, which is wounds. So yeah, she's helping. Yeah, she's talking about them. Those are the twins. Oh, but by the way, she hurt them too. So that's part of her solar return chart. So let's look for a second here. It was June 2015, I believe, when she first started killing. So this would be January 4th, which is when she would start her solar return. January 4th, July 4th, August 4th, September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April. Wait a minute, I just messed that up. We've got January, February, March, April, May, June. So it would be here. Look how big that house is. And this is something I say sometimes when someone asks me, like, why is that house so big? It's because it is a significant month in your solar return. And look at how this is an intercepted house, and it's intercepted 3 times. So the energy is going to change 3 different times for her in that month. Obviously, it goes from calm and being a worker, Virgo, to Libra, and then to Scorpio. So we'd have to, and so what that means is within that 1 month period, the lords of the house are going to change. So it's going to be Mercury's number 1, then it's going to move to Venus number 2, and then it'll move to Pluto number 3 in that 1 month. So yeah, it looks as if, I mean, the ninth house is the press. So the press probably got a hold of that. And there was a lot of ninth house, what the hell just happened? It was a huge shock that was just happening all over the hospital and among her coworkers. So sixth house is coworkers too. So there are probably a lot Pluto coworkers who are in shock Uranus. So this is for her that would be June 4th to July 4th that it happened. And it's kind of crazy. Big T square there, a bunch of T squares. And one thing I do like to do sometimes is I'll look at Black Moon Lilith and I'll be like, okay, we got some squares going to and from. Let's see who this is. And so if it was your chart, I would be like, all right, let's look at who Saturn is, because this is who you're going to have to deal with this year, and you're going to want to know ahead of time. Now, Saturn for her is the career, and it would show evil, devil, and also it would show the press, ninth house lord, and 10th house lord. But this would show, and look at how it's squaring Neptune too. This is that's weird. Because the square to Neptune would be a doctor. This is an evil doctor that she probably works with. And definitely there are conspiracies about this case. So, you can still have a crime and there's some bad people in the midst. But it does looks like something weird though. Because she's Venus. If I rectified it correctly, she's Venus. But this looks like some serious evil. And you know what it means too? It's evil at the hospital with that Black Moon Lilith. Neptune means hospital. Hey, Teresa, nice to see you. Okay. All right. So let's go to her transit chart. Actually, before we do that, let me go. You're going to be really interested in this. This is on Reddit. Oh my God. All right. Actually, I'm going to have to back up here. This is some serious, timeline that I found. And it's easy to find. It's on Reddit. Quite a few timestamps, but you can see, like, I guess the, how it starts. So June 8th, 2015, night shift. LL is Lucy Letby. Is Baby A's assigned nurse on the night shift. Baby A crashes. Skin appeared mottled at 8:30 p.m. 8:50 p.m., Baby A dies. Prosecutors allege that air was injected into the baby's umbilical line. 9 a.m., Lucy does Facebook search for Baby AB's parents. It's a good thing that they had access to her data. I'm not going to go through all of these, but I'll pick out a couple. She had the overnight shifts and the evening shifts. So June 9th, 2015, Lucy's assigned to two babies in room 3. Baby B is in room 1 with a different nurse. 11:30 p.m.-ish, Baby B is found with CPAP prongs dislodged and O2 at 75%. Prongs replaced, condition improves. 12:05 a.m., Lucy cosigns feeding record for Baby B. 12:16 a.m., Lucy draws blood gases from Baby B. And then on and on and on. 1 a.m., Lucy records hourly observations for Baby B. And then overnight, Baby B noted to have distended abdomen. X-ray shows clear lungs. LL cosigns for Baby B's medications. Note, here's a big one. Hospital handover sheet for Baby B was later found during search at Lucy's home. So one of the things that they feel was like a memento. And let's see, baby B conditioned. Okay, so at 12:30, baby B suddenly desats to 50%. Skin is modeled. Resuscitation begins. Placed on a ventilator. Then they record hourly observations. It's almost as if, um, this sheet, this handover sheet, is something that she later on wants to read over and over again, which is just disgusting. Okay, so I am going to, June 21st, 2015, night shift. Overnight, baby D dies. Prosecutors allege that air was injected into baby D. So you're seeing a lot of air here, which makes me think, that could be Libra. Libra's an air sign. And we've been seeing a lot of Libra here. Evening on August 3rd, 2015. Lucy is baby E's assigned nurse. Baby EF's mother walks into the room, finds baby E in distress, bleeding from the mouth. Lucy tells mother that she will call for a physician consult and to leave the room. LL writes nursing note for baby E stating that mother asked for physician consult. Overnight, baby E collapses and dies. Prosecutors allege that air was injected into baby E. So that one was the one when the mother walks into the room. She was not expecting that. So let's see. Let me go a little bit further on. Going through this, you can kind of see what's going on. It's like, it just seems to be Lucy just keeps doing it, according to this. Okay, here's one. Lucy is not baby K's assigned nurse. This happens a couple of times where she goes into another place, into another room, and one of the physicians or nurses, they're like, get back to your station. But Lucy is not baby K's assigned nurse. Physician finds Lucy at baby K's bedside watching. O2 levels are low. No alarm is sounding. ET tube found to be dislodged. LL states baby K had just started deteriorating. 7:30 a.m., LL is at baby K's bedside yelling for help. ET tube again dislodged. Baby K transferred to different hospital, dies February 20, 2016. Now, late winter, early spring 2016, LL is moved to day shift due to concerns about the excess number of unexplained deaths and collapses on her night shifts. So now she's on the morning shifts. Great. It was almost like a safety for everybody who had a kid during the day, but now she's on the day shift. Morning baby L's condition, which had been good, deteriorates. TPN bag running found to be hypoglycemic. Testing found abnormally high. Insulin levels recovers. Prosecutors allege that insulin was injected into baby L's TPN bag. Insulin, I believe, is Libra. It's sugar, or sugar. So 3:45 p.m., April 9th. Baby M collapses, found with mottled skin, recovers suddenly after prolonged resuscitation. Air embolus suspected. Later scans show baby M has brain damage. So prosecutors allege that Lucy caused an I don't know if you say this, I don't know how to say this, embolus, or airway obstruction in baby M. They also allege that insulin poisoning and air embolus is a pattern seen with the other twin boys, babies E and F. So there's where the twins come in. And let me see. You can see that Lucy in some of these calls, quote calls for help. And she has a student nurse. So June 24th, 2016, morning, baby P Noted as doing well overnight, Lucy starts her shift as Baby P's assigned nurse. 9:35 a.m., Baby P found with distended abdomen, mottled skin. 9:50, Baby P collapses, is resuscitated. 11:30, Baby P collapses. Decision is made to transfer to another hospital. 11:47 a.m., the X-ray shows Baby P has a punctured lung. Oh my God. 3 p.m., transport team arrives. 4 p.m., Baby P dies prior to being transferred. Evening, LL spends time with parents of babies O and P and takes photos of them together in a cot. Prosecutors allege that Lucy injected air into Baby P's NG tube. Wow. Okay. So it was June 3rd, 2018 when Lucy was arrested and later released pending further inquiries. And all throughout, she's like doing Facebook searches on the parents and yikes. All right. So now I'm going to go to, I believe, which one did I do here? It was one of the June 2016s. Let me see here. I'm so sorry. Sorry about that. Okay. Yeah. So there it is. I'll let you see some of that. And that's on Reddit. If you just, Google Lucy and Reddit, you can find that. It is Lucy Letby timeline. Okay. Now, this is a transit chart. And this is on one of the 2016 deaths. And so, so you take a look at, So you take a look at this. Is there anything about her imprisonment rehabilitation in the chart? Yeah, I don't know about rehabilitation. She's on sheet. In my opinion, her rising sign is on sheet. And when you have Pisces like that, this is jail. And, Neptune in Capricorn is a very long time in jail. So I think there's that. Uranus also represents her 12th house. So, it can show, that's imprisonment. It was the 12th house lord. And you can see how it's conjunct Neptune, which would show, hospitals and just the shock of the hospital. But as far as her going to jail, hold on, let me see this real quick. Okay, so this is her 12th house. Oops. So many oppositions. The biggest thing, look at Black Moon Lilith, really is like that is super prevalent with her life. And in Scorpio, this is a killer. That's what it is. It's a killer. And so with her Pisces up here, here's one of the biggest problems. And I know so many people with a lot of Capricorn, and they've had Pluto running through Capricorn, and it is extremely difficult. One friend has had breast cancer, numerous surgeries over 10 years. But for her, Pluto is going over these planets, and Neptune is jail. Uranus represents her 12th house of incarceration, and and it's a very difficult transit to have over your Capricornian planets. We also have, let's see here. I mean, Jupiter's going to be a big one in this chart because that's her career. And so Jupiter's here at the bottom and it's in the square with the nodes. You can see that. So if you were to look at something like this and you saw the nodes like that, it would be like, God, what's happening with your job? Is everything going okay? Because it looks like you don't want to be there. And it looks like you're stuck. So there might have been some things that made her upset. Let's see. The other thing too is the sixth house of work. So you would look at the sun. And here we go. This is not only your job, but your coworkers. And Pluto is, heading through there. And so there's a complete transformation of what you started out doing to how it all ended up. And, we've got Uranus, Neptune, and Saturn all in this transit energy with Pluto. And that is like, that's pretty hard. It's pretty hard. What is her mindset? Well, third house, thinking about those twins, Gemini. So third house and Gemini is up here. She's thinking about killing him. It's the third house. That's what you're thinking about. That's in her birth chart. So, and you've got this. Here's the biggest thing too, is what was on her mind is here. And then Black Moon Lilith, Venus in Leo, more Leo. So just like bullying. Black Moon Lilith is not caring what the consequences are, not caring, being unempathetic, being a sociopath. This is sociopathic energy that she's having. And then on top of that, she has some planets that are going through Gemini, which is Mars. It's like attacking the twins. She's got a lot of problems when obviously this is all happening. A lot of people don't have all of that in their 10th and 11th houses, but sure to me looks like that's what's going to define her in her life is what she did at work, And here's the crime chart for June 15th, 2024. I already went over this a little bit in the pre-show, but also shows that she's angry. Third house for her is Aries, and the third house was in Aries for a little while before she called 911. This is the time of the 911 call. And so there's something that is, well, I mean, really, it is the crime chart. You could really say that this is her mindset. And you know what? I think she might have been thinking about, is she going to get married? Maybe she's thinking about other people who are married. There is possibly a little jealousy there, I think. But so interesting how, the perp is a Leo. So all we would have to do is, and by the way, Black Moon Lilith, I think is the color black. I really do. Just like Saturn. Not always, but look at how we've got the two color, which would be a dark color. And it shows this is hair. You bring down the Lord into this T square. And this is someone with dark hair, with a lot of hair. And you know what? In Gemini, the person is going to look younger. Now, or there might be twin energy. So, with Brian Koberger, I believe we had Mars in Gemini, but there were a lot of twin things, there was somebody else who had his same initials. So he, I think, had a little bit different Gemini energy, but for her, it would show that I think she probably looks a little bit younger than she actually is. But we'll have to keep an eye on this crime chart because we're going to see so much as far as the twin theme. You know, let's look at where the babies are. The babies are here, Mercury. And they're in this T square here. They're caught in the middle. Oh, and by the way, when you have Mercury and it's squaring Neptune, sometimes I say, that's child abuse, but it also shows that a child disappears. It's the disappearance of something. It's very hard to have let me tell you, the two squares that are the hardest that I see in solar returns are the squares to Neptune, which means something disappears, or a square to Black Moon Lilith, which means you better watch yourself. You better not trust as much with some of the people that you are associated with. Let's see. Uranus also represents the victims. So there's that energy there of having head trauma. So Black Moon Lilith in there too. It's like this evil, nefarious plan. The devil, which is what this is, the devil was in that house. And it would not surprise me if a year or 2 or 3 from now, she just thinks to herself, what the F? Like, what was I thinking? I think a lot of, now sometimes you can just be born this way and always feel the same way about, taking victims. But I do believe that there are some people that change and they just don't know what happened. So there you go. So for the most part, you saw the chart. You just didn't see, there's Uranus right there. And there's Mars. So Uranus was trining Black Moon Lilith. Always see that as really, really strong in the chart. So that would be the crime chart for her. And that's basically the T-square there with Black Moon Lilith. And keep in mind, 29 degrees, this is a tragedy. So Neptune, a tragedy, a great tragedy, the twin tragedy. And this is, okay, this is her, hold on one second. Yeah, that was her solar chart that I already showed you. Or no, that was the crime chart. And then this was the crime chart right before she went to the hospital. And so what's really interesting to me is that the third house for her, this would have been her because she would have been the ascendant when she started on her way to the hospital. Third house is Uranus, and Uranus is in Aries here. It squares Pluto. So it is an intense need, I think, to interrupt. But yet again, second house, we're talking about being upset about something financial. So I think it's a little bit of both. It's sort of like maybe finding a reason to be upset, but still having those deep psychological reasons for, killing children. So, all right. So I hope this gave you some extra data here to take a look at. And it's just amazing how I think they both have, what do you call it? The same types of I would say, transits. They have the same types of aspects. You're going to see Neptune. You're going to see T squares. You're going to see um, Black Moon Lilith, Scorpio, and in the 18th degree sometimes as well. But Gemini is, you should take a look at some of the fixed stars for Gemini. You have a bunch in Gemini in certain degrees, and it's pretty bad. I know. Well, thanks, Glow with the Flow, for coming in. I haven't seen you in a while. And thank you all for joining me tonight. We'll start looking at some more of these charts in the coming days. And I've got some more nurses and doctors I want to take a look at. So, and then we can come back to this and compare and contrast. So thanks again for joining me tonight. And I will see you hopefully tomorrow afternoon at 3:30 Central, 4:30 p.m. Eastern. It'll be just me, and I'll be looking at some of the royal charts. It's amazing how we got some of the predictions just from some of those charts. So you'll have to join me, and I hope to see you then. Thanks again.